Friday, May 24th. Here's what we're working on this morning. After a nearly 7-week trial, the fate of Oliver Carafa and Lucy Lee is now in the hands of a Hamilton jury.
The Linc and Alexander Parkway closed for maintenance this weekend.
And the Queen of Emotions ready to tell her story in a new documentary. Oh, it's going to be a good Friday, I think.
Not for people driving on the Linc.
Well, no.
Well, no, yeah, okay.
No.
Sorry to be a Debbie Downer.
Wah, wah, wah.
Just like what Brian's, that's the only Brian's going to be talking about that. I think Simone's on that too, isn't
Yes,
she?
yes,
you know what I mean?
she is.
Like,
Yes,
we know that how big an artery the Linc is, and on the weekend, and
It's
everybody's
going to have
moving around.
repercussions all over the city, especially up on the mountain.
Is it ever? Oh, you know, when we think of what's happened in years gone by when they've had complete closures and the chaos on all of the connecting roads around it, because you can't go on the Linc, it's going to be a busy weekend on the road. So.
But other than that, it's going to be great.
Okay. You know, we had a great day yesterday with the sunshine. Temperature got to 24, really comfortable day.
Very.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Today, another one, a little warmer. You know, we're going to hit 27 today, humidex about 29, but lovely sunshine. And yep, the sun is up already here this morning. We'll enjoy it all day today. Tomorrow, disturbance is going to approach, could give us a shower, could give us a thunderstorm, and just a touch cooler, but back to sun for Sunday. So that's an overview of the weekend. So actually not looking too badly. We'll talk about that coming up. By the way, temperature right now is 12. All right, looking at traffic. 403 Waterdown Road looks good so far this morning, so no problems there. MTO traffic cameras, one visual problem, that's all. I mean, there's no volume around the Ford plant, but there is a vehicle off to the side there. There is a blocking truck right there. Let's go to Woodward Avenue, nothing to see there. Other side of the Skyway, coming down off the Skyway Bridge right around North Shore Boulevard, that looks pretty good as well. So not a lot happening so far today. So we'll look at weather and traffic as usual. Never mind, we'll look at traffic as far as the Linc is concerned, which we mentioned. We'll have details on that coming up. But right now, the news.
Okay, yes. Hamilton's Linc and Alexander Parkway, the Linc, set to be fully closed for almost 4 days. It starts this morning, and it's for maintenance. Simone Gavros joins us now from Golf Links Road in Ancaster with more.
Hi, good morning, Annette. Well, yes, this is a heads up to drivers who typically take the Linc this morning. So those road closures are going to starting at 8 a.m. The eastbound lanes are going to close. And then the westbound lanes are going to close a little bit later, around 10 a.m. But right now, there aren't any significant construction taking place. We did just see some crews set up some pylons on one of the on-ramps going eastbound. But right now, we are still seeing cars going both directions. So they still have a couple hours to start shutting things down. But the plan for this weekend is the entire Linc is going to be closed, and this is just a look at these directions we're going to see, and that's going to go until early Monday morning. So the eastbound lanes will be closed first from Golf Links Road to the Upper Red Hill off-ramp, and then the westbound lanes will be closed from the Red Hill to Mohawk Road. The city says detour routes will be available via Mohawk and Stone Church roads, and access to the 403 will be maintained. Some of the work being done this weekend includes asphalt repairs, graffiti removal, as well as bridge and signage repairs. Traffic is expected to increase over the weekend, so drivers are reminded to plan accordingly. Now, the city says that any updates along the way over the weekend will be updated via their X page as well as on their website. But we're going to be here all morning until those road closures begin going eastbound starting at 8 a.m. But for now, I'll send things back over to you, Tim.
All right, thanks, Simone. Jury deliberations are underway in the trial of a married couple, Oliver Carafa and Lucy Lee, accused of murder and attempted murder in Stony Creek. It was February of 2021. 39-year-old Tyler Pratt and his pregnant girlfriend, Jordan Romano, were shot in an industrial property in Stony Creek over an alleged business conflict. Oliver Carafa's lawyer admitted that his client pulled the trigger, which ended up killing Pratt. Now, Romano survived, but her unborn baby did not. Now, Lucy Lee's lawyer maintains her client didn't know about Carafa's business dealings or if he was going to carry out the shooting. The Crown suggested Lee told an elaborate set of lies designed to create space between her and a motive to kill, and both should face charges of first-degree murder.
A group of 21 homes in Ancaster have been without drinking water now for 3 days after a service line was accidentally damaged during construction. Hamilton Public Health issued a drinking water advisory to homeowners along Woodworth Drive East. Now, this is near Fiddler's Green Road and the 403. The city is providing them bottled water to use for drinking, cooking, or cleaning. Although initial testing hasn't found any contamination, the city said 2 separate water tests for bacteria 24 hours apart need to be conducted before the water supply can be restored.
The staff responded to it. They throttle down or they slow down the water so that it doesn't flood out the area. When they did so, we momentarily lost pressure, which then provided the opportunity for contaminated water to get back into the main.
Hamilton Water says more results are expected today, so the water could be running again as early as this afternoon. Young athletes across the country are excited over the WNBA's decision to expand in Toronto. Hoopers at Cathedral High School say they are thrilled to see a professional women's team close to home. In Toronto, all 3 levels of government, WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert and Larry Tannenbaum of Kilmer Sports Group Ventures announced the new team. Kilmer says it's paying $115 million US for the franchise.
And I think it's very good for young girls, even people like my age who can look up to those people.
Especially like this past year with players like Caitlin Clark and like Leo Edwards, and that already brought more attention. So hopefully like this will bring more for Canada.
I've never thought about going WNBA, like I maybe thought about going pro in Europe, but it makes me think about it a little more.
Team hasn't been named yet. Ownership says it's going to take their time and ask for public input. They will start playing in 2026.
Okay, I want to stay with this story because the official announcement, we saw a little bit of there, it was pretty neat, especially when the commissioner of the WNBA, Kathy Engelbert, said this.
I am honored to officially announce that we have awarded the City of Toronto the 14th WNBA franchise.
Many say women's sports is having a moment. I disagree. Women's sports has arrived. It is a movement. The world is finally taking notice of something that's been there all along. Immense talent, passion, and competition. And that's why we're here today at the right time, in the right place, for our first WNBA team in Canada.
That's such a great quote from the owner. That is Larry Tannenbaum, who made this possible. So he's part owner of MLSE. It was his passion for women's sport to get this done outside of the MLSE brand and under his Kilmer Sports brand. So yeah, the unnamed team, as Annette said, will be joining the league not next season, the season after that in 2026. As of right now, they're going to be playing out of Coca-Cola Coliseum down at the exhibition. All right, Edmonton Oilers are the lone Canadian team left in the NHL playoffs. Kicked off the Western Conference Finals in Dallas last night, and the best player on the ice came through in double overtime.
Agent Hopkins will roll it down, working against the steady Tanev. Oh, it's in front, scores! It's over!
Connor McDavid, he had a roller coaster of a game, but there he was, 32 seconds into double overtime with the redirection past the Stars' Jake Ottinger to give the Oilers the 3-2 win in Game 1. This came after McDavid was called for a high stick in the first OT and sat in the box for a double minor. The Oilers killed that off, then Ottinger absolutely robbed him a bit later in the first overtime to push it into the second overtime. How McDavid does not score on this, who knows? It is a brilliant save, but look, it just gets the paddle down on it. Yeah, saves it. Anyways, McDavid would score, so it doesn't matter. So they take Game 1, 3-2. Game 2, that's Game 1. Game 2, it goes tomorrow night.
High fly ball right field. Going back is Carpenter, running out of room, it's gone!
A power outage in Detroit didn't stop the Blue Jays from using the long ball and grabbing their second straight win. Dalton Varsho hit his team-leading 9th home run to break a 1-1 tie. The outage, it halted much of the broadcast where they actually had to call the game over cell phones. But it was back, and, is Vladdy back? He would hammer his 5th moonshot in the 9th. Jays scored 9 runs, back-to-back games.
Vladdy hit it
Thanks to the home run jacket? Working so far. 9-1 the final. Game 2 in this series. It goes tonight.
And then in the second quarter, Celtics scored the first 17 points of the period. Brown knocks it down. He's got 40.
Yeah, on the NBA court, Jaylen Brown was a one-man wrecking crew for his Boston Celtics. He matched a career playoff high with 40 points, 10 of those coming on a 20-0 Boston run in the first half. The Celtics go up 2-0 in these finals over the Indiana Pacers. Former Raptor Pascal Siakam, he did try his best, scoring a team-high 28, but they head back to Indiana down 0-2 after the 126-110 loss. Let's finish off on the ice in Prague as the World Hockey Championships taking place, where Canada is off to the semifinals for a 9th straight year after taking down Slovakia yesterday in the quarterfinals. Nick Paul, he had a couple goals and a helper in the 6-3 win, so they now face Switzerland in the semifinals on Saturday, with Sweden and the host Czechia playing in the other semi. Canada is looking for back-to-back gold medals.
All right, good morning, 6:11. It is the 24th of May. It is Friday. Yay. We're looking at traffic, first of all, before we get to our forecast for today and the weekend. Looking good here still. No problems, 403 and Waterdown Road. That's our exclusive camera. MTO traffic cameras. We'll start in St. Catharines. Look at that nice, bright sunshine. QEW east of Lake. Nothing there. Woodward Avenue toward the Skyway. Still doing fine. Here's the 403 junction. So Toronto-bound lanes coming out of Hamilton towards us. Still that visual distraction off to the side. We do have the blocking vehicle's gone, but the vehicle is still off to the side there. So no problems as far as volume or anything. And that's the 427 Gardner QEW combination, all looking good. So does our sky this morning. Lovely sunshine. We enjoyed the full moon last night. Temperature right now has fallen. We are now sitting at 11 degrees. The winds are light. The relative humidity still fairly comfortable, but a mostly sunny sky at the moment. For school today, 27 degrees, so a little bit milder than yesterday. Humidex of 29. Lots of sun. Very high UV index for the day today. What we have is that weak cold front's not going to trigger off anything, but that is the problem for the weekend. Developing low pressure system that could bring us some showers, possible thunderstorms for the day tomorrow. And then after that, look at that ridge of high. That's going to get us right back into sunshine. Looks good for Sunday. So today, 23 to 26 Niagara, 26, 27 for the rest of the horseshoe. Anyhow, we're looking at humidex value, as I said, about 29 degrees. Tonight, a little milder, 15 and 17 degrees for Niagara, otherwise 12, 14, 15 degrees. We'll get a little bit of cloud cover starting to roll in throughout the overnight, and then tomorrow a little bit of sun, but we're looking at clouds, chance of showers, possible thunderstorms, temperatures anywhere from 23 to 26, a little cooler for Niagara Falls tomorrow at about 22. So out the door, yep, 24th of May. We're looking at light winds, lots of sun, temperature 11. Long range coming up and at 10.
Okay, let's look ahead to Chit Chat with Emily. What you got?
Hi, good morning. We take a first look at the new documentary, I Am Celine. All about Celine Dion, her rise to fame, how important her voice is to her, and of course, the disease that she now battles with. We're also taking a look at the new Beverly Hills Cop movie. That trailer has been released with Axel Foley. It looks good.
It's just, yeah.
No ideas.
No, I know. It's just like those are. I just love those movies so much. Both of them. Like the sequel was really good too. But like to go back to it.
I know.
Expectations are.
I get it, but it looks really entertaining.
Okay.
So we'll chat about that as well.
Cool. We'll see you at the couch in a little bit.
Okay, coming up in business news, a First Nation in Ontario has been struggling with mercury poisoning for decades, and researchers at Western Ontario say they now know why the issue is not going away. 6:16 on your Friday morning, and the Canadian dollar is up a couple of basis points this morning. It's at 72.86 cents US. Gold is up $2.60. Crude oil is down 62 cents to $76.25 a barrel. Checking midday trading in Europe, markets are down across the board.
Asian markets, not good on so far on this Friday. Down across the board, triple-digit losses. And North American markets, a similar situation. They had their worst day. Look at that, Dow Jones.
Wow.
Yowzers. In over a year, Dow Jones down over 600 basis points. NASDAQ not too bad, but some losses on the TSX too. I think there's interest rate fears in some Boeing situations when it comes to the markets that had issues there. We'll see if they can rebound to wrap up the trading week on this Friday, May the 24th.
Issues in Northern Ontario as well. A new study shows industrial discharge from a paper mill in Northern Ontario is making mercury contamination actually worse for a First Nation that has been dealing with mercury poisoning for decades. The wastewater from the mill in Dryden no longer has mercury in it, but it does contain sulfate and organic matter that eventually form methylmercury in the Wabigoon River. Researchers from Western University say levels of that toxic organic compound could be twice as high in fish because of the discharge. The mill is just upstream from the Grassy Narrows First Nation. It's a community of about 1,000 people near Ontario's border with Manitoba. In the 1960s, this mill dumped 9,000 kilograms of mercury into the river. One study estimates that 90% of the community has some degree of mercury poisoning. The heavy metal can also be passed from mothers to babies, making it a problem that spans generations. The mill stopped using mercury in its industrial process in the 1970s, but mercury levels downstream of the plant have not decreased since the 1980s.
Well, the federal fisheries minister has met with members of the lobster fishing industry after shutting down a fishing area off northeastern New Brunswick at the height of the season. Now, Fisheries and Fisheries and Oceans Canada instituted a 15-day temporary fishing closure for the lobster spot because an endangered North Atlantic right whale was spotted in shallow waters about 4 kilometers off the coast. So the closure is to run until next week, May the 31st, and if the whale isn't detected again, the area would then reopen.
U.S. Department of Justice is trying to break up Ticketmaster owner Live Nation Entertainment, accusing them of running an illegal monopoly over live events. The department and several state prosecutors say they want the business broke up because it stops competition and drives up prices for tickets. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland says, quote, "It is time to restore competition and innovation in the entertainment industry." Live Nation is pushing back, saying in a statement that Ticketmaster is not a monopoly and that the lawsuit won't solve issues that the fans care about relating to ticket prices, service fees, and access to in-demand shows.
I just went out to fill my water in the last break.
It's so nice and bright out.
The weather window, like it is glorious. What a start to your Friday. So Brian will have a look at that and your full weekend forecast. Look at the roads because there's one situation on the Linc. It's closing down soon.
Coming up on 6:23 on this Friday, 24th of May, looking at traffic, first of all, lovely sunshine in your eyes, of course, some areas. Looking at the QEW 7, St. Catharines, nothing there. Busy now, coming off the Skyway Bridge around North Shore Boulevard, heading toward Brant Street. And this, once again, sun in your eyes. QEW Bronte looks good, nothing at Mississauga Road, even the 403 at Burnham Thorpe. But keep in mind, Linc closing. Eastbound closes this morning at 8 o'clock. Westbound closes this morning at 10 o'clock. The entire weekend until Monday morning. Okay, let's get into temperatures that we have right now. 11 degrees in Hamilton. Nice, fresh morning with that sunshine. 14 Grimsby, Mississauga. 16 for Toronto. Seasonal temperatures for this time of year, 21 for the daytime high now and 9 for the overnight low. Those are our sun times and records, of course. And look at that lovely sunshine for the day. And that's the way it's going to be today. 19 degrees for the first bell for school, 27 degrees for after school, bit of a humidex around 29, so that's how the day shapes up. 15 overnight tonight. Tomorrow, a little bit of sun, but there's that chance of a shower or a thunderstorm. A little cooler, 23, feeling like 29 once again. Back to beautiful sun for Sunday. That looks good. And then Monday, showers Monday and Tuesday. Look at the temperatures dip. 16 Tuesday, 15 by Wednesday. Those are the daytime highs. That's a look at your forecast. Annette, Tim.
Okay, we're coming off a really special day here at CHCH because we welcome back Connie Smith, Dan McLean, and Alex Reynolds back home.
So all three joined a media panel. We've been talking a lot about our 70th anniversary, and in 2 weeks today, actually, we're inviting you guys in to see the show. And we yesterday was all about reminiscing about the past, the present, and even the future. It was a fun day. Have a little look here.
It was very overwhelming. I hadn't seen Dan in a few years. Well, we talk every few months or so. And in a way, it was like coming back to work again, seeing some familiar faces and being so embraced by so many new faces.
In reality, I was part of the fight for so many years to get the Jackson Street studio built, and we followed that along with great interest. And then, of course, it's now gone, so I can't believe it's gone in that short a time. But it hasn't been that short a time when you think about it. And this is my first opportunity to see the news station. I love it. I think it's a great place. They got some very, very good work stations and healthy places to be. And it's a very clean building. I think it's a terrific spot, ideal for a television station. And guess what? That's what CHCH is.
And be watching as we're going to share some of the special programming that we're creating to celebrate the 70 years. We're going to have interviews with Dan, Connie, Alex, as well as Fred Anderson, my old co-host, Bob Cowan, and more. And a reminder that Friday, June 7th is our 70th anniversary.
2 weeks today. I want to bring Brian Wood in here.
Yeah, because Brian moderated this media panel. So, Brian, it was like herding cats yesterday, and you did such an amazing job. So he had 11 of us because we had kind of like the broadcasting legends of those three, and then we had some of the newer reporters as well, just talking about how things have changed over the years and how we bring you our news.
Yeah, it was such a great time. You know, we did the show, and then we finished, and I looked at my watch and I went, 2 hours?
It was 2 hours later.
It was like, I couldn't, because it was just like that, listening to everybody tell their stories, and to see Dan and Connie and Alex, still a going concern at 91, kidding me constantly about how I still get the weather wrong. What am I going to get? It was just so wonderful. What a day.
Yeah, it was like talking, a conversation with friends when you just don't realize the time. I thought we were like, maybe this is an hour, and then it's like, wow.
Yeah, so that's like one part of celebrating 70 years, because a lot of people behind the scenes have been working really hard on different vignettes and different interviews from people from the past, and they're kind of all going to be coming together throughout programming over the next little bit, and really, really neat. So great job, guys.
Yeah, especially great job, Brian, for moderating.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, we'll see if he does a great job with the weekend forecast coming up after this.
Trying to get it right.
For Alex.